All right, guys, I'm back, rocking my cowboy hat for this little Cam's Review firearms talk, whatever you want to call it. I'm a little rusty, so you're going to have to bear with me on this. But being that hunting season is just around the corner, I decided to talk to you about what is going to be my woods companion, which is the 44 Magnum Ruger Super BlackHawk. Both the Ruger BlackHawk and the 44 Magnum, which this is chambered in, came out in 1955. Basically, Colt had stopped making their single action army at the time, so there were a bunch of companies, filling that void. If you can imagine the 50s and 60s, you have those classic cowboy movies, the beginning of all of your, John Wayne movies and Clint Eastwood. And Ruger was able to simplify the process, make a cheaper firearm, and also more robust than the original single actions. So they did just that. Interesting story as well. Apparently, allegedly, urban legend says that a Ruger associate found a 44 Magnum case at the dump and found out that Smith & Wesson was taking the 44 Special, which was a pretty common at the time 44 caliber handgun cartridge, and making a Magnum version. So a little bit longer, a lot more power. Handgun hunters at the time, like Elmer Keith, had been loading their 44 Specials really hot. So rather than risk blowing up the guns, Smith & Wesson decided to make their Model 29, the Dirty Harry revolver, chambered in something more powerful. And Ruger got wind of this and made their Super BlackHawk, which is a beefed up version of the BlackHawk they were working on, and so was able to release a firearm that was cheaper than Smith & Wesson's in the Smith & Wesson caliber. Not the first time that's happened to Smith & Wesson, unfortunately. But this Super BlackHawk has adjustable sights on it, as opposed to your classic cowboy guns. And this is a 7.5-inch barrel. As you can see, it's a pretty long, really heavy firearm. But what this does is it increases my sight radius, and in theory should make me more accurate than if it was a 5.5 or even smaller length barrel on it, if you can imagine. So you can see those minor adjustments that would throw off your shot at a longer distance. I usually just carry this as backup, but the 44 Magnum is powerful enough that it's kind of the benchmark of handgun hunting calibers. You can certainly hunt small deer and other animals with something like a 357 or even smaller, but throwing a 240 plus grain slug into a larger animal is, ideal versus something lighter like that 357 that I was talking about. A little overview again of the Super BlackHawk. These are single action, so you have to pull the hammer back manually. That turns the cylinder. Then you can pull the trigger. They don't have a swing out cylinder like a double action handgun, so they are fed through the loading gate one at a time. And they make that great noise when you spin them. The Super BlackHawks do not have a fluted cylinder. In order to maintain a little bit more strength, they have just a classic round cylinder on them. I think it looks fine, but some people who are style snobs don't like that as much. This one is sporting the original wood hand grips on there. A lot of people, especially with something like the 44 Magnum, trade them out for Patchmire or one of the other synthetic or rubber hand grips that fit a little bit better and hopefully absorb the recoil, because the 44 Magnum is pretty stout. It's loud and it has a lot of power to it. So after firing this for 6 shots or more, your hands kind of start to hurt. And no matter how much hearing protection you have, you will hear this gun. One other cool thing about the Super BlackHawk and the 44 Magnum is I can use this in cowboy action shooting as well as hunting. I can't use full strength 44 mag loads, but I can compete with this. I'll make quite a splash, as you would imagine, and quite a bit of noise, but I like having that attention on me. So these are, and again, since these have been made for more than 50 years, you can find them in various grades, various conditions, and really kind of running the gamut on price. I think the list price currently on these is probably like 800 bucks. I got this for quite a bit less than that, and it came in a very well worn but original box. This is the second model, or the new Super BlackHawk. The original ones are what are called 3-screw models. They weren't quite as stout. The springs were not quite as stout. There were some safety concerns with them, but as far as collectors are concerned, if you see something titled 3-screw, there's probably going to be a premium to it. But that's all on this. Hopefully I can get you a range video pretty soon on it. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks, guys.